Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Carolina Weather Authority meteorologist Joshua Nagelberg, and I hope you guys are all doing okay. We had a pretty rough night last night, but fortunately the sun is back out today. The wind is blowing kind of a nice breeze. It's still a bit humid out, but I am happy to say that it's not 95 degrees right now at 1 in the afternoon. So I hope everybody did okay and was safe during the storm, didn't take on a lot of damage. In Raleigh, our biggest issue was with all the rain that we've had, some tree limbs down. We did have a couple trees down in our neighborhood. We picked up probably about 3 2/3 inches of rain, which was about what I expected to fall, and most of that came in just a 12-hour period. We've seen higher amounts over eastern parts of the triangle as well, over 4 inches of rain in a few spots. But before I go any further, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We had some great live videos for some of you last night to watch. But once we reach the 1,000 subscriber mark, which isn't that far off, we'll be able to do this live through YouTube and not through third-party software, and that should produce more stable results and a better environment for you guys to ask us questions and for us to give you guys the answer that we need. I know when Mike and I were on last night back and forth, we did have some delay in our graphics and in our stream, so our goal is to get rid of that for you guys and provide you with the best that we very well can. Also, visit us at carolinawxauthority.com for more articles. We're talking about what's going on right now up the eastern seaboard with 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts still possible. And our track forecast from last night from Isaias pretty much worked out the way that we anticipated it would. We had to make some changes at the last minute, of course, but that is nothing unusual for a storm like this. And, of course, submit your damage photos to us on our Carolina Weather Authority page. And Mike says, can we get to 300 subscribers? I think you guys can help us out with that. So let's see what's going on in the tropics with Tropical Storm Isaias. It is moving all the way at 40 miles per hour. It made landfall a little over 12 hours ago near Ocean Isle Beach in Brunswick County, North Carolina. The center of the storm is already up across parts of the mid-Atlantic states. Actually, it's up here in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and racing off to the north into parts of New England this afternoon. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect at the coast from the northern Outer Banks through the Chesapeake Bay, the Delmarva, New Jersey, New York City and Long Island area, all the way up to the Maine and Nova Scotia border. So still the entire mid-Atlantic and northeast under a tropical storm warning at this point. This area of tropical storm force winds encompasses a good portion of the Philadelphia area, pretty soon moving up to New York City area as well. And our latest update at 1 o'clock shows winds have gusted as high as 75 miles per hour just off the coast of New Jersey at Barnegat Inlet Light. So still getting hurricane force conditions, and now those are spreading into the New York City area. Our satellite shows the circulation up here moving through the Delaware Valley and bypassing New York City. And already the sun back out here in the Carolinas and parts of Virginia, so we're happy to say that. Last night we did have an intensification before landfall, and this was Hurricane Hunter data, which flew in around, this is 8:30 p.m. last night. That caused the upgrade to Category 1 status. We believe here at Carolina Weather Authority, based on the aircraft data that we received, that this storm could have briefly reached Category 2 strength, but then did weaken upon landfall over here around 11:15 last night back to Category 1. It wasn't officially upgraded past Category 1, but we believe that very well could have happened. And based on what we're seeing from the aircraft and some of the radar returns, and I'll show you that in a little bit, and the reason why is that wind shear relaxed just a little bit in here and allowed our storm to consolidate an eye feature and an eye wall. Got just far enough away from the coast of South Carolina to do that yesterday evening. The warm water temperatures over here were just offshore, and then as the storm came closer to the coast, the waters cooled a little bit, and wind shear from the southwest picked up a bit, and it may have weakened a bit. But nonetheless, I think it did catch some of you guys at the coast off guard, as it was strengthening basically right up until close to landfall and produced some pretty powerful winds. Currently, our storm center, show you the latest model. This is already behind the 8 ball. It's already up in Pennsylvania, moving up into New York and eastern Canada. I'll get to that in a bit. Watches and warnings, still these tropical storm warnings all the way up the eastern seaboard. Flash flood watches as well. Tornado watch across parts of the New York City metro area. And I'm going to show you the current radar as well. And we do see the center of the storm now moving across New Jersey. We see several little cells here coming onshore Long Island, which I do think could produce tornadoes and wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour. So the New York City area, Long Island, Connecticut are going to get crushed here with wind gusts of 100 miles per hour, which is going to give it the kind of damage that we may have seen in Superstorm Sandy back in 2012. So Isaias may not be on the list after this year. We'll have to see how that plays out. Now, in North Carolina, we did have quite a few wind gusts into the 80s at the coast. I will show you some of the ones that we got from the Weather Service last night. 87 miles per hour at Oak Island, 83 miles per hour at Southport, 99 miles per hour just off the coast near Fort Fisher at Federal Point, but that's 50 feet up. Wilmington, 73 miles per hour. I do have a private weather station I have my hands on in the landfall community of Wilmington that had a wind gust up to 88 miles per hour. So some very powerful wind. Now, those of you in South Carolina were not quite as bad as the storm came by just east of you, but Myrtle Beach had gusts to 53 miles per hour. And I'm going to show you kind of a storm damage map here going down to the Carolinas. And let me zoom out just a touch for y'all. But we can see the Charleston area did have some wind damage, gusts maybe around 40 to 50 miles per hour. A little bit of tidal flooding as well, but not as much as expected. Myrtle Beach had storm surge getting in some of the flooding into the main strips there. And then some tornadoes reported around Bald Head Island. Wind gusts over 85 miles per hour in this area. We did have storm surge damage as well up Wrightsville Beach and on up toward Topsail Beach. Some flooding possibilities in the Raleigh area, some 3 to 4 inch amounts, some minor river flooding as well. We'll still have to watch the Neuse River in Clayton and especially in Smithfield for flooding. Same goes for the Tar River, where there has been some flooding on Highway 70 in the Goldsboro area. We did have some wind damage as well, with lots of trees down farther up the eastern North Carolina. There may have been a tornado near Leland last night, and then we had, unfortunately, deaths from a tornado in the Windsor area in Bertie County in northeastern North Carolina overnight while people were sleeping. Unfortunately, a lot of damage in that community. Lots of wind in northeastern North Carolina, more wind damage and tornadoes across the Virginia Tidewater region and even inland areas. Some trees down near the Dan River, some flooding around the Richmond and Fredericksburg area, tornadoes across Maryland and the Delmarva. And I did see a report of a wind gust to 109 miles per hour on Long Beach Island in South Jersey, right down here, just off the coast. More reports of wind damage up through New York City, 70 to 80 mile per hour gusts. And we'll see some flooding across eastern Pennsylvania. So more reports will be coming in New England under the gun now. But yes, a very dangerous situation still for the Northeast this afternoon, but things should improve quickly for the Carolinas. Nothing to worry about behind it in the tropics at this point. I'll show you, though, we do have the threat for more showers and storms Thursday into Friday. Some of those could be heavy, and it will stay unsettled into the weekend, so you could have some issues cleaning up at the beaches this weekend, but not expecting widespread heavy rain across the area. In fact, our flood threat the rest of today is across the Delaware Valley, and model rainfall totals through the end of the week into the weekend are generally on the order of 1 to 2 inches over the coastal plain and less than half an inch around Charlotte and upstate South Carolina. Maybe some heavier storms, though, back in the mountains. So again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Carolina Weather Authority. We're glad to have you guys with us this afternoon. Please submit your damage reports and photos and videos to us on our Facebook page, and we'll be sharing them out with everyone. And we're glad you joined us. Please be safe and enjoy this brief respite in the tropical conditions we've had. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Take care.